Hi guys, ladies, gentlemen, you're welcome. Welcome to English, this channel created for sharing issues about English learning. In this opportunity, in this occasion, I'm gonna share with you listening and speaking practice in English. This video refers about how do you learn English using videos from YouTube, for example. Okay, for this commitment, for this practice, I have chosen a piece of audio. This audio belongs to the video delivered at the UT University, Texas University, by this incredible admiral of the militaries in the United States, this Admiral William McRaven. This video, you can find this video in YouTube, by the way, and I think this video is the most challenging project in order to learn English, in order to practice listening and speaking, because this speaker is a native speaker, native English speaker. Okay, this is truly challenging for me. I am already practiced with this speaker many times. This is an example, or this is to show you this practice that I am gonna share with you just right now is to show you how you should practice your skills, your listening and speaking skills. Okay, I am here and ready to go and practice with this video. Okay, so excuse me a moment. I am gonna prepare my phone. I have this video in my phone, and then I'm gonna put these phones in my ear. Okay, this video is the most challenging goal in order to learn English. Okay, this is the video. Okay, I'm gonna touch the screen to play this video a moment.
Well, thank you, President Powers, Provost Fendes, Deans, members of the faculty, family and friends, and most importantly, the class of 2014.
This is the video. You can find this. You can find this video in YouTube. Okay. So let's go direct to the point. I am here, ready to go and practice. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Well, thank you, President Powers, Provost, the Pembes, Deans, members of the faculty, family and friends, and most importantly, the class of 2014. It is indeed an honor for me to be here tonight. It's been almost 37 years to the day that I graduated from UT. I remember a lot of things about that day. I remember I had a strapping headache from a party the night before. I remember I had a serious girlfriend whom I later married. That's important to remember, by the way. And I remember I was getting commissioned in the Navy that day, but of all the things that I remember, I don't have a clue who the commencement speaker was, and I certainly don't remember anything they said. So acknowledging that fact, if I can make this commencement speech memorable, I at least try to make it short. So the university slogan is, what starts here changes the world. Well, I got to admit, I kinda like it. What starts here changes the world. Tonight there are almost 8,000 students, a lot more than 8,000 students graduating from UT. So that great paragon of analytical rigor, As.com, says the average American will meet 10,000 people in their lifetime. 10,000 people, that's a lot, folks. But if every one of you changed the lives of just 10 people, and each one of those people changed the lives of another 10 people and another 10, then in 5 generations, 125 years, the class of 2014 will have changed the lives of 800 million people. 800 million people. Think about it. Over twice the population of the United States go one more generation and you can change the entire population of the world. 8 billion people. If you think it's hard to change the lives of 10 people, change their lives forever, you're wrong. I saw it happening every day in Iraq and Afghanistan. A young army officer makes a decision to go left, and instead of right on a road in Baghdad, and the 10 soldiers with him are saved from a closing ambush. In Kandahar province, Afghanistan, a non-commissioned officer from the female engagement team senses that something isn't right and directs the infantry platoon away from a 500-pound AD, saving the lives of a dozen soldiers. But if you think about it, not only were those soldiers saved by the decision of one person, but their children were saved, and their children's children. Generations were saved by one decision, one person. By changing the world can happen anywhere, and anyone can do it. So what starts here can indeed change the world, but the question is, what would the world look like after you change it? Well, I'm confident it will look much, much better. But if you'll humor of this wholesaler for just a moment, I have a few suggestions that might help you in your way to a better world. And while these lessons were learned during my time in the military, I can assure you that matters not whether you ever served the day in uniform. It matters not your gender, your ethnic or religious backgrounds, your orientation or your social status. Our struggles in this world are similar, and the lesson to overcome those struggles and to move forward, changing ourselves and changing the world around us, will apply equally to all. I've been a Navy SEAL for 36 years, but it all began when I left duty for basic SEAL training in Coronado, California. Basic SEAL training is 6 months of long torturous runs in the soft sand, midnight swims in the cold water of San Diego, obstacle courses, unending calisthenics, days without sleeps, and always being cold, wet, and miserable. It is 6 months of being constantly harassed by professionally trained warriors who seek to find the weak of mind and body and eliminate them from ever becoming an Navy SEAL. But the training also seeks to find those students who can lead in an environment of constant stress, chaos, and failure and hardships. To me, basic SEAL training was a lifetime of challenges crammed into 6 months. So here's the 10 lessons I learned from basic SEAL training that hopefully will be of value to you as you move forward in life. Every morning in SEAL training, my instructors at the time were all Vietnam veterans, would show up in my barrack rooms, and the first thing they do is inspect my bed. If you did it right, the corners will be square, the covers will be pulled tight, the pillows centered just under the headboard, and the extra blanket folded neatly at the foot of the rack. It was a simple task, mundane at best, but every morning we were required to make our bed to perfection. It seemed a little ridiculous at the time, particularly in light of the fact that we were aspiring to be real warriors, top battle-hardened SEALs. But the wisdom of the simple act has been proven to me many times over. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little thing right, you'll never be able to do the big thing right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made. That you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. So if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. During training, the students were all broken down into boat crews. Each crew 7 students, 3 on each of a small rubber boat, and one coxswain to help guide at any. Every day your boat crew forms up on the beach and is instructed to get through the surf zone and paddle several miles down the coast. In the winter, the surf of San Diego can get to be 8 to 10 feet high, and it is exceedingly difficult to paddle through the plunging surf unless everyone digs in. Every paddle must be synchronized to the stroke count of the coxswain. Everyone must exert equal effort, or the boat will turn against the way and be unceremoniously dumped back on the beach. For the boat to make its destination, everyone must paddle. You can change the world alone. You will need some help. And to truly get from your starting point to your destination takes colleagues, the goodwill of strangers, and a strong coxswain to guide you. If you want to change the world, find someone to help you paddle. Over a few weeks of difficult training, my SEAL class, which started with 150 men, was down to just 42. There were now 6 sailboat crews of 7 men each. I was in the boat with the tall guys, but the postboat crew we had was made up of little guys, the Munchkin crew we call them. No one was over 5'5", but the Munchkin boat crew had 1 American Indian, 1 African American, 1 Polish American, 1 Greek American, 1 Italian American, and 2 tough kids from the Midwest. They out-paddled, outran, and outswam all the other boat crews. The big men into the other boat crews would always make good-natured fun of the tiny little flippers the Munchkin put on their tiny little feet prior to every swim. But somehow these little guys, from every corner of the nation and the world, always had the last laugh, swimming faster than everyone and reaching the shore long before the rest of us. SEAL training was a great equalizer. Nothing mattered but your will to succeed, not your color, nor your ethnic background, nor your education, nor your social status. If you want to change the world, measure a person by the size of their heart, not by the size of their flippers. Several times a week, the instructor would line up the class and do uniform inspection. It was exceptionally thorough. Your hat had to be perfectly starched, your uniform immaculately pressed, your belt buckle shiny and void of any smudges. But it seemed that no matter how much effort you put into starching your hat or pressing your uniform or polishing your belt buckle, it just wasn't good enough. The instructors could find something wrong. For failing uniform inspections, the student had to run, fully clothed, into the surf zone. Then wet from head to toe, roll around on the beach until every part of your body was covered in sand. The effect was known as a sugar cookie. You stayed in the uniform the rest of the day cold, wet and sandy. There are many students who just couldn't accept the fact that all their effort was in vain, that no matter how hard they tried to get the uniform right, it went unappreciated. Those students didn't make it to training. Those students didn't understand the purpose of the drill. You were never going to succeed. You were never going to have a perfect uniform. The instructors weren't going to allow it. Sometimes, no matter how well you prepare or how well you perform, you still end up as a sugar cookie. It's just the way life is sometimes. If you want to change the world, get over being a sugar cookie and keep moving forward. Every day during training, you were challenged with multiple physical events, long runs, long swims, obstacle courses, hours of calisthenics, something designed to test your mettle. Every event has standards, times you had to meet. If you failed to meet those times, those standards, your name was posted on a list, and at the end of the day, those on a list were invited to a circus. A circus was 2 hours of additional calisthenics, designed to wear you down, to break your spirit, to force you to quit. No one wanted a circus. A circus meant that for that day, you didn't measure up. A circus meant more fatigue, and more fatigue meant that the following day it would be more difficult and more circuses were likely. But at some time during SEAL training, everyone made a circus list. But an interesting thing happened to those who were constantly on a list. Over time, those students who did 2 hours of extra calisthenics get stronger and stronger. The pain of the circuses built inner strength and physical resiliency. Life is filled with circuses. You will fail. You will likely fail often. It would be painful. It would be discouraging. At times it will test you to your very core. But if you want to change the world, don't be afraid of circuses. At least twice a week, the training was required to obstacle course. The obstacles course contained 25 obstacles, including a 10-foot wall, a 30-foot cargo net, a barbed wire crawl, to name a few, but the most challenging obstacles was the Life for Life. It had a 3-level 34-tower on end and a 1-level tower at the other. In between was a 200-foot-long rope. You had to climb the 3-tier tower, and once off the top, you grab the rope, swing underneath the rope, and pull yourself hand over hand until you get to the other end. The record for the obstacle course has stood for years. When my class began in 1977, the record seemed unbeatable, until one day a student decided to go down the slide for life, head first. Instead of swinging his body underneath the rope and inching his way down, he bravely mounted the top of the rope and thrust himself forward. It was a dangerous move, seemingly foolish, and filled with risks. Failure could mean injury and being dropped from the course. Without hesitations, the student slid down the rope very slowly fast. Instead of several minutes, it only took him half that time, and by the end of the course, he had broken the records. If you want to change the world, sometimes you have to lay down the obstacles head first. During large warfare facial training, the students are flown to San Clemente Island, which lies off the coast of San Diego. The waters of San Clemente are breeding ground for the great white sharks. To pass SEAL training, there are a series of long swims that must be completed. One is the night swim. Before the swim, the instructors joyfully brief the students on all the species of sharks that inhabit the waters of San Clemente. They assure you, however, that no student has ever been eaten by a shark, at least not that they can remember. But you're also taught that if a shark begins to circle your position, stand your ground. Do not swim away. Do not act afraid. And if a shark, hungry for a midnight snack, darts towards you, then summon up all your strength and punch him in the snout, and it will turn and swim away. There are a lot of sharks in the world. If you have to complete the swim, you will have to deal with them. So if you're going to change the world, don't back down from the sharks. As Navy SEALs, one of our jobs is to conduct underwater attacks against enemy shippings. We practice this technique extensively during training. The ship tag mission is where a pair of SEAL divers is dropped out outside an enemy harbor and then swims well over 2 miles underwater, using nothing but a depth gauge and a compass to get to the target. During the entire swim, even well below the surface, there is some light that comes through. It is comforting to know that there is open water above you. But as you approach the ship, which is trying to appear, the light begins to fade. The steel structures of the ship blocks the moonlight. It blocks the surrounding street lamps. It blocks all ambient light. To be successful in your mission, you have to swim under the ship and find the keel, the center line, and the deepest part of the ship. This is your objective. But the keel is also the darkest part of the ship, where you cannot see your hand in front of your face, where the noise from the ship machinery is deafening, and where it gets to be easily disoriented, and you can fail. Every SEAL knows that under the keel, at the darkest moment of the mission, is a time when you need to be calm, when you must be calm, when you must be composed, when all your tactical skills, your physical power, and your inner strength must be brought to bear. If you're gonna change the world, you must be your very best in the darkest moment. The night week of training is referred to as Hell Week. It is 6 days of no sleep, constant physical and mental harassment, and one special day at the Mud Flats. The Mud Flats are an area between San Diego and Tijuana where the water runs up and creates the Tijuana Sluice, a swampy patch of terrain where the mud will engulf you. It is on Wednesday of Hell Week that you paddle down the Mud Flats and spend the next 15 hours trying to survive this freezing cold, the howling wind, and the incessant pressure to quit from the instructors. As the sun began to set that Wednesday evening, my training class, having committed some egregious infractions of rules, was ordered into the mud. The mud consumed each man till there was nothing visible but our heads. The instructors told us we can leave the mat if only 5 men would quit. Only 5 men, just 5 men, and we could get out the oppressive cold. Looking around the mat flats, it was apparent that some students were about to give up. It was still over 8 hours, so the sun came up. 8 more hours of bone-chilling cold. The chattering teeth and shivering moans of the trainees were so loud, was hard heard anything. One voice began echo through the night. One voice raised in song. The song was terribly out of tune, but sung with great enthusiasm. One voice became 2, and 2 became 3, and before long everyone in the class was singing. The instructors threatened us with more time the mat if we kept at the singing, but the singing persisted, and somehow the mat seemed a little warmer, and the wind a little tamer, and the dawn not so far away. If I have learned anything in my time traveling the world, it is the power of hope, the power of one person, a Washington, a Lincoln, King, Mandela, and even a young girl from Pakistan, Malala. One person can change the world by giving people hope. So if you want to change the world, start singing when you're up to your neck in mud. Finally, still training there's a bell. A brass bell that hangs in the center of the compound for all the students to see. All you have to do to quit is ring the bell. Ring the bell and you no longer have to wake up at 5 o'clock. Ring the bell and you no longer have to be in the freezing cold swims. Ring the bell and you no longer have to do the runs, the obstacle course, the PT, and you no longer have to endure the hardships of training. All you have to do is ring the bell to get out. If you want to change the world, don't ever ring the bell. To the class of 2014, you are moments away from graduating, moments away from beginning your journey through the life, moments away from starting to change the world for the better. It would not be easy, but you are the class of 2014, the class that can affect the lives of 800 million people in the next century. Start each day with a task completed. Find someone to help you through the life. Respect everyone. Know that life is not fair and you will fail often. But if you take some risks, step up when the times are the toughest, face down the bullies, live at the downtrodden, and never ever give up. If you do these things, the next generation and the generation that follow will live in a world far better than the one we have today. And what started here will indeed have changed the world for the better. Thank you very much, Hawken Horns. Okay, this is the video that seems to me the most challenging task, the most challenging project in order to learn English. Okay guys, I finished this practice and I hope that I show you how to train your brain, your tongue, your mouth, your teeth, and your muscles, your face muscles, okay? Your face muscles. Because all these elements, all these systems in your body take and count in order to train, in order to listen and speak in English. This is the practice, and I know this practice is not very good. It's not high quality practice, but I am in the path of progress, in the path of thrive. Okay, guys, I hope this video inspired you. Okay, so up here, this practice up here, I show you and the next time. Okay, thank you very much.